Hi guys, thank you so much for being here for today's live training. What we're going to talk about today is, of course, ACT test prep and what that looks like in school districts, and ACT test prep courses that might be offered at high schools and things like that. So I know that, of course, I've been sharing with you week on end the need to be prepared and kind of stressing the importance of, making sure that your child is prepared for the test. But beyond being prepared, one thing you need to take it a step further. And what's really important, what's critical is what you choose in terms of your test prep. So not all test prep is created equal, and you want to make sure that you are using quality resources, quality programs, and the best way to do that is using official test material. And so whatever program test preparation you use, you want to make sure they are official test items, questions that have been released from the ACT, not questions that are like the ACT test. So you don't want imitations, imitators. You don't want copycats. You don't want something that's similar. You want the real deal. And so I'm going to kind of get into my story of ACT test prep classes in schools and kind of some of those best options out there for you. So I've taught test prep, both ACT and SAT for quite a long time now, several years. And when I was first approached to teach test prep, it was when I was, a new teacher. It wasn't my first year, but it, really close to still being brand new as a teacher. And that semester that I was asked to teach, I was teaching SAT and ACT prep together in one class. That's what they requested. And no materials whatsoever were provided to me, no curriculum, nothing. It was just, hey, you're an adult, you're a teacher, and we want you to go and teach this test and prepare students. And so the only knowledge that I had was just the little prep that I was able to, do for myself as a student. That was the only preparation I had to be prepared to teach that course. And I don't think that that is an uncommon thing. I don't think I'm the only teacher that's ever taught a test prep class for SAT or ACT or both that did not have any kind of specialized training before doing that. I don't think that I'm just special in that way. I think that's pretty common. And then I also think it's common that teachers that are placed in that position don't have resources or curriculum provided, let alone the official quality, released from the test makers materials. So, and that's a big deal. So when I was teaching that course, when I was teaching that course, I went to Amazon and I, just typing in search for the best SAT and ACT books. That's kind of what I did, and just looking at the reviews, if it had 5-star reviews, and I thought, hey, this must be a good resource. And if it was in my budget, then I thought, hey, this would be perfect. This would be perfect for me to use to teach this course. And I found a book. It was, I think, from Barron's, and it was a combined book, SAT and ACT together, math at the beginning and then English at the end. And it was teaching strategies and offering, similar test questions like the students would see on the test with explanations. And I thought, hey, this would be good. And I'm not going to knock it, but knowing what I know now, just doing a random search for best test prep books is not the way to go. And I'm going to explain that a little later. So fast forward a couple of years, I'm now in another school district. I've been approached to teach SAT prep and ACT prep. This time, not during the school day, it's after school. Large group of students, more than a typical high school class, but, maybe 40, 50 students at once coming to sessions after school for test prep. And again, they're saying, hey, will you do this? The content of math, right? And you've done test prep before in the other school district, and hey, you'd be great for it. We're not going to give you any resources. We're not going to give you any curriculum. You just teach this class for us. So it's in a similar situation, except for I've had experience doing it at that point. So still didn't have any resources, but had the experience, if that means anything to you. So I go through and I'm teaching the course. I'm looking for materials, and I did the same thing, and just like what's best at the time in my little Amazon search for resources that fit my budget, and make it through teaching that course. And I shared a little bit of my story before, but once I volunteered to be that testing coordinator, then I was like, hey, we need official information. We can't just be looking for random resources out here. And some are saying this strategy and some are saying this, and some of it's outdated because the tests have changed. And, so it was like, hey, we need official things. So I sought out to be an ACT certified educator, meaning I went and got trained from the test makers. And in that training, they actually provide you, it's very transparent, the ACT is, about what's on the test, how you're going to be tested, or how you'll be assessed, and how the scores are calculated. Like everything is laid out there for you if you kind of just look through the information. It's not a secret. It's just not commonly known, but it's not a secret. Anyone can find out the information. And so as I was pursuing those certifications to be an ACT certified educator, I learned in that training by looking at what's going to be on the test. Like, they give you everything, like everything. So whether it's the English section, math, reading, or science, it tells you exactly what standards, right, or what topics are going to be on the test. And why was that like an eye-opener as an educator? Well, on the teaching side of it, it showed me exactly what I needed to teach my students, exactly what I needed to make sure they knew walking in, so that they would be ultimately prepared, like 100% ready for the test. And so knowing that now, and knowing what I didn't know when I first started, night and day, because I was going through those books. And if I remember back, I'm looking back, it's like, it didn't match. It didn't align. What they were saying was important to know. And those books only made up for like 10 to 12% of the overall test, now that I know everything that is on there, right? And it left out so many things that were important to know. So, quality resources, quality test prep is important. Test prep period is important. I've been saying that, but the quality and the level of your prep is important as well. You don't want to waste time using resources and materials that aren't quality, that don't give you the full picture, that don't lay it all out for you. And last night in boot camp, was going through with some of those people in that course. It's like, hey, look, you can see exactly on this handout what you need to know in every area of math that is assessed on the ACT. It even narrows it down by score band. So like, if you know you want to score in a certain range, then hey, you need to know these things. And students were just like, I never knew that. So now I know, hey, this was important for me to pay attention to in this class or that class, so that I would, score in this score range, and also it kind of even tells you how many questions you need to get right to get a certain score. So things I know now that I didn't know when I was first approached as an inexperienced test prep teacher, is, like I said, leaps and bounds from what I know now. And I just want to stress to you guys, you're watching, quality test prep matters. Right? You want to make sure that when you are preparing, yes, it's great to prepare, but don't waste time with ineffective, outdated, and just inaccurate resources. You want to use quality resources from the actual test makers. Okay. So guys, that's going to be our training today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Come back. I think Friday, we're going to be doing our free view Friday, going over ACT test prep questions. So you want to make sure you're here for that free view Friday. And guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you next time.